Okay, I'm going to do a quick run through of the crime scene and the new features. I'll try and keep it brief for the sake of the video. So when we arrive at the crime scene, first thing we're going to do is check our notebook. So you can bring that up by pressing the button on the controller. You've got a task list here, which will update as we do tasks. Not finished yet, that's just going to have a little placeholder list. And same for the photos we've got here. So the idea is that when we take pictures inside the scene, they'll be displayed here as like a kind of gallery. You can browse through and see where they were taken. But cool. So first thing we're going to do is update the map. So you can see here this front door is closed. So we'll open this. And we'll open the door behind. If we check on the map, we can see that these doors are listed as open. In fact, they all are. And that's just the default setting for the doors. So we're going to mark on the map that when we arrived at the crime scene, these doors were closed, just to keep the information consistent. Let's close that down. So we'll grab the toolbox. Slight issue with the toolbox at the moment is we've added a lot of tools in the recent versions and they don't all fit in the box. So I'm going to need to kind of overhaul that over the next week or so. But for now, it holds most of them. So bring some issues to light straight away. You'll notice looking at here, that looks horrendous. It's just a glitch with rendering and it's easy to fix. But it takes a long time. I have to run a process which is going to take, a couple of hours. So easy fix, just not a quick one. So I'll get that done tomorrow. Right, okay, so first things first, look at the scene. We've got a body here, we've got some doors open here. For the sake of the crime scene, we're going to mark on the map that these doors are open. So that was open, open, open. I believe that one was closed. Yep, so we'll mark on the map that this one was closed when we entered the crime scene. Just keeping all that noted. So you've got a bit of blood there. Mark that in a second. This looks like kind of maybe an entry or exit point. Obviously, you've either entered through this way, but then the back door's open as well. So potential exit point, potential most likely an entry point. First thing we're going to do is we are going to put some markers down around the crime scene. So let's put one next to the body. Get another one there. What looks like this could potentially be the murder weapon. Bloody footprint there as well. Let's mark that up. And let's take another one for over by the window. There we go. And one down here. Now you'll notice that when we put these markers down, they show up on the map with the numbers on as well. So you can see the marker 2, 3, 4, 1. You can see where they're placed. Ignore that one. That's just what I'm testing with at the moment. Cool. So let's close that down. So really, before we start touching any evidence, we're going to want to get pictures of everything. So that's what we're going to use the camera for. And this tool here, which is just the ruler, won't be needed in every picture, but some pictures where it's kind of deemed relevant, we'll put that in. So let's get a picture of the body there. Let's get a picture of the room. There we go. And we're going to get a picture of the murder weapon. Go over here. There we go. Finally, we get a picture of that bloody shoe print there. There we go. So that's kind of this area has all been photographed now and marked up. I think it's important we get a sample of that blood from the victim. The body itself, we're not going to touch too much. In fact, we're not really going to do anything with that. That's going to be the job of the specialist. We'll take the body away and do that back at the station. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swab this blood. We'll get a sample of that. There we go. We'll put this safely back inside the container. I think now it's worth having a look over at this kind of entry point. So looks like parts of the window frame here. We've also got some of the glass that's been shattered, which could be very good for finding fingerprints potentially. Or if they got anything caught on this, maybe caught on the glass, could be some clothing fibers around here as well. So I'm going to go get the tools to check for that as well. And before we do that, we're just going to check outside. And yeah, just as I thought, more debris this side as well, and what looks like a potential item that was used to break in. Here you can see we've got that same glitch. It's just some things not rendering for this window space. Same glitch I mentioned before. It's an easy fix, so don't worry too much about that. Oh, and saying that, at the back of the house, where it seems like one of these points would be the exit point, being the front door was closed, we've got some footprints. So as these are in mud, they're going to leave an impression, so we can get a mold of that impression and keep that as evidence as well. Oh, is that another blood spot? Another blood spot there as well. Going to keep us busy, this crime scene. So first things first, we're going to check for any clothing fibres that are around this glass here. So let's have a look. This gives us a better view of the pieces of glass. Okay, there we go. So while I'm checking for fibres in this version of the application, we've got this nice kind of green circle around the evidence, and that basically just speeds up the process of finding these little fibres. Obviously, on a real crime scene, you'd have a team of professionals in here, be here a lot longer than the trainee is going to spend in this application. So to speed it up a little bit, when you're looking for the magnifying glass, you get these kind of green highlights to help narrow down where they've got to look. So with that, I think we should collect that. Looks like a cloth fibre, which may have been caught on this glass. So let's go get the tools to pick that up. So we're going to head over here, and we've got some tweezers which we'll use to pick up the hair. So as you pull the trigger, they close, which is quite satisfying. And let's grab this container, so we'll take the lid off. There we go. Got this container here, which we're going to store the thread inside. Nice. So you can see there up close the thread, and we'll store that inside this container to be analysed later. Fantastic. Another thing with glass is, I believe I mentioned before, fingerprints can be easily left on it and spotted as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to shine this light, and if you shine a light on a fingerprint, it often shows up. So, oh, don't know if you can see that on the recording or not with the resolution, but that is a fingerprint. Or actually, in this, it's actually a very small handprint, which is interesting. That's just because when I do the full version, I want to swap the texture out for a fingerprint. So you'll see in a second when I bring that up, it's going to look a little comical. But let's go and get this here to bring out the print. As you can see, there's the very small handprint I was talking about. As I mentioned a second ago, though, that will be a fingerprint in the final version. So that's a bit of evidence we've collected there. Let's drop that in the box. All right, now we're going to want to get on these footprints we noticed outside. So I'm actually going to, before I collect the footprint, we're going to get a picture of it. So where is the camera? I'm not going to do all the evidence. If I was doing a full run through, I would mark all this blood here. I'd take photos of the blood. I would also put the markers down. Same for that there. I would put the marker down. I'd take photos. I'd collect all that evidence. But to keep this playthrough relatively speedy for the video, I'm just going to move on to something a little bit different. So there's the impression in the mud of the footprint. So let's get... Ooh, forgetting something there. Let's go get a crime scene marker. There we go, and we'll also bring this as well. And this is the paste we'll use to take an impression of the footprint. So first things first, let's put a marker down and let's get a picture of this and let's get this documented. There we go. And now we're going to take the impression of the footprint. So we just apply this paste. You'll see that it fills in the footprint, and the more you do it, it kind of brings out a nice deep impression of the footprint. There we go. So it's another bit of evidence we can keep. So that's that collected. I'll put that there for now. We would have it in the box, but it'll make the box disappear. I noticed that a second ago, so I'll fix that. All right, so another thing to do is check upstairs as well for evidence. Now, I'm trying to work on an easier method of going up these stairs. I think I might just add a button as well to make it a bit easier, because it can be a little difficult going up and down these stairs. You have to be quite precise. And it's the same for the attic as well. I did have a system where you could kind of throw this up and teleport up there, but it ended up just being more awkward. So I'm thinking just going to have a simple interaction button the user can click, which will take them up to the attic. And maybe do the same for the stairs, but I'd like to try some people with the stairs first who don't use VR too much and see how they find it to use. Right, okay, so we've come into this room. We can see these doors were open when we got here, which is something we're going to want to mark down. So we're going to bring up that map again. You can see the marker in the garden. You can see all the markers around we've been using. So we're going to click on the first floor, and the doors are open by default. That's just the default position of the doors is open. Well, at least it is for now. So doors are all open. We're not going to change that. We're going to leave them how they are. All right, so the furniture in here, we can see these are open, which is potentially means they've been maybe stolen from. The drawers are empty, nothing inside them. So it's a good indicator that maybe something's been taken. I don't know. We should get some pictures of this. And what's also going to happen is on the map, the same as with the doors, we'll have the furniture on here and we can say open or closed, and we can leave a little marker on the map displaying whether the furniture, how it was when we found it on the scene. I haven't done that yet, but it's a relatively quick thing to do now the code's already been developed for the doors. Another thing over here you can see is there's the light's kind of illuminating that we've got one of those handprints there. So the mini handprints, which once again will be fingerprints, and we do the same process as before. But once again, for the sake of keeping the video kind of quick, I'm not going to go and do it all again right now, but that is another fingerprint we'd collect. It's also worth noting as well is there will be evidence upstairs, whether it is more clothing fibers or hairs potentially. So let's go have a quick look. See if we can find any more trace evidence. Oh, okay, and there we go. There's another one of the hairs. So I'm actually going to swap to feel a bit more comfortable being right-handed, but it's going to, oops, just open that door. Let's pick that up. There we go. So we've got one of these hairs. And once again, we would, same as last time, we'd normally go and put that in the container as before. There's been a quick basic run through of everything going on and the different tools at the user's disposal. I believe I've covered everything. I'm just going to double check. We've used the markers, done the swabbing. So this is the basic rundown of everything, all the features so far. A little bit of smoothing out to do with things. That's the biggest ugly bug we've kind of got. But yeah, if you guys let me know feedback, feel free to be as critical as you need to be, or as you want to be. Like I prefer to know where the issues are before we present it to the police. So on anything you think looks a bit janky with it, or could be do with a bit of an overhaul, or even any evidence that I've kind of missed and haven't put in the scene that you guys think would kind of work with the scene or kind of improve it or make it more realistic, let me know. So I'll end the recording there.